Vegetables are made in a factory. Chocolate milk comes from brown cows. All corn is sweet corn. Have you ever heard any of these common misconceptions about agriculture? If so, you aren't alone. Many people don't know what happens before today. Not only that, but most people don't know what goes on in the agricultural industry in general. The statements are just a few examples of the misconceptions uninformed consumers fear today. Hi, I'm Kristen asking, are you informed? By not being educated about the industry around us, people are allowing themselves to be biased towards media reports and internet sites. One recent example of how misconceptions can lead to an industrial and economic downfall is the pink slime incident. Now, I'm sure almost everyone here has heard about pink slime. The whole problem began when people found out via the internet from a former USDA scientist that lean, finely textured beef contained 70% of what he called pink slime. He claimed that the filler was made up of waste trimmings that were simmered to separate the fat from muscle. The trimmings were then put in a centrifuge and spun to finish the separation. The meat product was then sprayed with ammonia gas to kill any bacteria. This description caused an uproar with the general population, thinking that pink slime was toxic and unhealthy for them to eat. If these people took time to do some research, they would have found that these waste trimmings were still 100% beef, just smaller cuts that aren't usable for larger cuts such as steaks or roasts. What people also didn't know was that the separation process removes most fat, leaving behind 94 to 97% lean beef. The ammonia the USDA scientist was talking about, it is actually called ammonium hydroxide and is found naturally in all food proteins we eat. This chemical is used only to prevent bacteria from growing and is even used in products such as baking powder, cheese, and chocolate. But because of the number of people protesting the pink slime they heard about in rumors, production ended up being shut down in 3 out of the 4 plants, including one here in Iowa. Pink slime is still a topic, but what about other mistakes that have occurred because of falsely biased consumers? In the poultry industry, there have been many debates over how much living space should be required for chickens. Many people don't realize how inefficient production would be on large-scale egg farms if producers had free housing for their chickens, or how many deaths would be caused by fighting or trampling. In California, in 2008, a measure was passed called Proposition 2, requiring more free housing for chickens. The voters only passed it thinking they were protecting the animals and that they would also get a better product. Although the mandated changes are not required to be put in effect until 2015, this measure unfortunately could end up putting most egg farms in California out of business. As a result, most of California's eggs will likely be imported from Mexico, where there are little to no regulations on production. Now, instead of happier chickens and a better product, these people won't even know what kind of product they're getting. Has anyone here noticed the ever-increasing milk prices? Thanks to another misconception, we may see these prices for years to come. Unless, of course, the general population decides to change their minds and accept the biological technology that stimulates milk production in dairy cows. Recombinant bovine somatotropin, or RBST, hormone which is naturally produced by cows' pituitary to control milk production, now be made in large quantities with new DNA controlling techniques. Efforts by biotechnology opponents are purposely casting a bad shadow on this solution by making it sound unhealthy or unnatural for the consumer. In contrast, before being approved for use by the FDA, RBST went through 9 years of long and comprehensive reviews to prove that it poses no risk to human health and that there is virtually no difference in the composition of milk or meat from RBST supplemented cows. Also, So cow already naturally produces this hormone. Receiving more of it doesn't hurt it in any way. In fact, it helps the average cow, which produces about 8 gallons of milk each day, to produce almost a gallon more. So, cows making more milk, we could save other vital resources. If 1 million cows were treated with RBST for 1 year, it would save 6.6 billion gallons of water, 3 billion pounds of feed, and 5.5 million gallons of gas and diesel. At the same time, methane emissions would be lowered by 30,000 metric tons, and the amount of manure produced would decrease by 3.6 million tons. These numbers are amazing. So why haven't we been using RBST to the max? Because there are still skeptical people out there who don't really do the research to realize the benefits that we could all be enjoying. Do you notice a trend forming? Drastic decisions being based on rumors, people acting before they think, large industry changing consequences, and so on. Although well-intentioned, most Americans do not realize that their desires for changes in the food system can result in undesirable consequences, such as much higher food prices, loss of jobs, increased use of natural resources, and even lower quality food products. Instances similar to these happen all the time across the entire country. My hope is that a few people here today have learned more about the agricultural industry and have changed their opinions on these issues. You see, that's exactly what we need. Even though I gave only a few examples of harmful misconceptions, there are many more that need to be cleared up around the world. An example, China and other countries' unnecessary reluctance to consuming genetically modified corn, which could help our economy grow once that the corn is in no way harmful and healthy. Once more people learn the facts and understand what goes on around them in the world of agriculture and start researching questionable ideas in the media, our economy could greatly benefit. So, how do we achieve that? How are we going to ease the doubts of every single person in the world? To get the word out, you yourself have to be educated and up to date on the current problems in the industry. And it's simple to do. First, watch the news and read articles in the paper or online. If anything seems very controversial or biased, check it out. Even though the media seems reliable, they only print the stories that will bump up their ratings no matter the cost. So talk to the people experiencing these problems firsthand. These could be farmers, producers, or even politicians. Then spread the word. If family or friends are being falsely influenced by the media, tell them what you know and get them to spread what they know. Whether you choose to believe in the media or you decide to dig a little deeper, any choice you make is going to leave an impact and could change the agricultural industry. Choose wisely and ask yourself, are you informed? Thank you. Are there any questions? The question is, how did I become interested in this topic? Well, I'm involved in a lot of agricultural activities such as FFA and 4-H and ag classes in my school, and I've been to a lot of conferences and heard the facts about pink slime instead of the rumors that are around in the media, and it made me want to check out the biased reports that the media sends out and check out the other side, and I was surprised to find the real facts and how different they are than what the media prints, and I wanted to share it with everyone. And here are my sources that I got my information from. Are there any other questions? Thank you.